Hello, I'm Jamie Cartwright, a Disputes and Risks Partner at Charles Russell Speechlys. As part of our series on supply chains, I'm focusing on big changes to packaging waste in the UK and EU. This shake-up is set to have a big impact on businesses and producers in the EU and the UK, and these regulatory changes are part of an increase in environmentally focused rules that regulate waste and waste responsibility. With these regulations coming into effect from October 2025, similar regulations are also due to take effect in the EU from 2026. The main effects of the regulations focus on the shift of the financial burden of household packaging waste management from taxpayers to producers. The intention here is to encourage recyclable packaging design and therefore reduce landfill. In addition, producers will now bear the full net cost of managing household packaging waste, which until now has been funded largely by taxpayers. Here in the UK, duties and charges will be determined by the size of the producer and the overall packaging tonnage. Producers are also now categorised by turnover and packaging tonnage as either small or large. For companies that form part of a group, the collective turnover and weight of packaging will count. If the total amounts of that group meet the small or large thresholds, each member of the group must comply, and that's regardless of individual size. Also in the UK, qualifying producers must register and report packaging data for 2025 by April 2026. Registered charities are exempt from the regulations. Large producers will have to pay fees based on packaging quantity and type, and to begin with, this will be charged per tonne. In future, the intention is for this to be adjusted for recyclability, and some items will become exempt under other schemes. Funds generated by this new scheme that are estimated at over £1.1 billion annually are then distributed via the appointed administrator PAC UK to local authorities for waste management. The wider industry has expressed some concerns about all of this. These include the potential for penalties for heavier packaging, the unintended costs for closed-loop systems, and a disproportionate impact on hospitality businesses who are already feeling the significant strain of red tape and costs. Critics are also calling it complex and a production tax. Powers for enforcing the regulations in the UK sit with the Environment Agency, and enforcement can escalate from initial guidance on compliance through to civil penalties. Prosecution is reserved for the worst or repeated cases where fines are unlimited, but directors and senior managers can also be prosecuted where offences involve their culpability or neglect, with individuals facing the risk of imprisonment. Businesses will need to continue to evolve their supply chain management to ensure compliance by the deadline set. Now, the cost of compliance may require careful rethink and reflection on the types of packaging used and the opportunity to use recyclable material. Re-engaging with logistics providers and looking for operational efficiencies will also be important when considering the overall cost of the products for consumers. Now, thank you for watching. Be sure to look out for other episodes in this series on supply chains, and please get in touch with me or your usual Charles Russell Speechlys contact if you'd like to discuss any of these issues.